Hi, William.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'll have some questions.
Sure.
Do you think China is a religion country?
Well, come on, no, of course not. I think that episode of the history was already gone a long time ago, and I'm very grateful to Chinese government. Actually, religion is respected here, very respected. You can choose any religion you like, but actually, it's separated from the politics, and it's a really smart move. Really smart move. There are so many policies in the world that just in this country that you need to make. And of course, they cannot be based on religion because they are practical. They're really, really practical. And I think everything works here much faster and with greater efficiency just because religion and politics are separated. It's just like that.
So do you think there are still many religious countries in the world?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Because
Could you give us some examples and why?
yeah, some good examples. For example, Germany and America.
Germany?
Yeah, Germany.
Kidding me?
Well, first I will tell you about America. It's one of the simplest examples that in America is supposed to be the most developed country in the world right now. Yeah, and
Yep.
they also are very modernized. What does it mean? For example, they legalized whatever can be legalized. For example, different genders, homosexuals, and different erotic pornography and a lot of stuff. They legalized everything. It's legal in their country. So how can we talk about religion in that country? I don't think that their decisions are made on religion. But why many politicians in America still using some religious statements, for example, oh, like God bless America or whatever. It's only a wonderful tool to manipulate the public, and it also helps, to justify their very
Legitimacy.
cruel decisions. Like, for example, starting a war or whatever. They say, oh, because we are like religious Christians, we are like better, superior, and so on. Yeah, this is a kind of political tool. But Germany is much worse, much worse, because they had very long history. Europe had 30 years war. Do you know when it happened? It happened, I think it was around like 500 years ago.
In 17th country.
Century, yeah?
A century, yeah,
Yeah.
17th century.
Well, everything happened maybe like even hundreds years even earlier than that time, because it was the beginning of that movement. Different reforms, different rebels against the government, because at that time the government was exactly a religious organization. What is Roman Empire? What is Roman Empire? It's just a kind of religious bullying. Religious bullying. People were killed or they were like executed in different multiple ways because of some religious reasons. Yeah, they were burned alive. People cut their heads. They tortured people because they explained it with some, words or phrases from the Bible and from some sacred texts and so on. And the people started to fight against it. Then 30-year war happened, and we can see that the position of church dropped down. The position of church dropped down, and suddenly they realized, aha, we can create sovereign countries without church. Wow, it was a progress. Then throughout so many years, Germany already developed into a very, very modern thinking country, and Germany created a very long list of great, wonderful philosophers. And their philosophy then entered 20th century when it was officially proclaimed that God is actually dead, right?
Yeah.
Then it was Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler. Then it was communism in Europe, in Germany especially. And after that, after World War II and after that Berlin Wall collapsed and after Soviet Union collapse, Germany actually went back to like 500 years ago at least. They restored all the churches. They restored all religious thinking. Many official holidays have connection with religion, with God. And you can see in many texts, not only about Goethe or Heine, when those poets were talking about God, but even modern texts about, for example, schoolboys and schoolgirls in 21st century, they're talking about God with each other. I read it in many German texts. How on earth children after school talk about God? This world, these German thinkers, you know, the time of great German thinkers is already gone. What happened to Germany? They are back. They're back hundreds of years ago. They want religion. They think religion is something super great. Why in the world when we have AI, technology, when everything is developing, they're talking about God? Is that practical? How are they going to develop their own economics? How are they going to work? That is a really scary question, because I realized if people in 21st century, like at school, find no other topics but talking about God and whatever, wow, I think it's a very good question. That's why, going back to the question about China, the religious question was solved long time ago, in the middle of 20th century, when it was officially stated that we should not believe in any God. We should believe in ourselves.
Yeah, of
People
course.
are great. People are great. We should believe in ourselves. We should work for people, do everything for people. Think about the society. Think about people around you, not be selfish. And when there are hard times, believe me, it's not the God who is going to help you. It's we ourselves who are going to help us. And with the help of our friends, our communities, farmers and workers, a huge society, we can create a wonderful, beautiful future. That's what the wisdom of China. Even if we go back a couple of thousands of years ago in China, you will realize that this kind of Buddhism, Taoism, yes, they had strong school of Buddhism and Taoism here, including Confucianism, but you know, it was so superficial. Even at that time, people believed only in ancestors. They worshiped their ancestors, not the gods. Who can believe in an imaginary creature on the clouds or wherever? People only believed in their father and mother, grandfathers, grandmothers. They believed in their ancestors. And that was the foundation of this nation. That's why China is strong, like even getting stronger and stronger. So that's my answer.
Wow, it's very interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.